Hey everybody, it's Miss Carolyn, and this is our 4th week together doing yoga for the little people. I hope that you have had a really great week. As you can see behind me, some really neat things have been happening in my yard. Hopefully it's kind of hard to tell, and I know the sun is coming, and I'm sort of praying that the sun doesn't interfere with the lesson today and you're seeing me, but the white azaleas have started to bloom. They're just about ready, and the pink ones are starting to open up too. And I have more white and pink ones going down the wall behind me. And so today, once again, I had a pink azalea down there that had blossoms going over the wall and they needed to come off. So I went ahead and I clipped those, and maybe you can see how beautiful they are. And I told you last week when we looked at the red ones that they don't have so much of a scent. I can smell it a little bit, but not a lot. But I also told you that I would have lilacs blooming soon. And most of the lilacs in my yard are purple. And so here's a lilac, and it's about halfway through opening up and blooming. And so some of the little petals or buds are still closed, but then some are opening. But lilacs smell amazing. And so they're so beautiful. I do have some white lilacs in my yard, but there aren't as many. And they're kind of high up. And so I chose not to clip one because I want to save them on the trees. Because there's a lot more purple ones, I felt like I could take a little clipping of it, and I think I'll put it in a glass of water and put it in the house. But they're so beautiful. And I'm just wondering what you've noticed about different flowers maybe blooming around where you live. And if you've seen a lot of different colors. What would be super cool, I think, is in the next week, see if you can count how many different colors you start to see outside. Like how many different shades of green, how many different shades of pink, maybe there's yellow, there are even like little blue flowers out there. Just notice all the orange, notice all the different colors that you can find and see how high you can count with that. I think that would be really, really, really fun. So I hope that you're noticing and realizing that when you notice the world around you, that you are getting to practice some yoga. We're gonna do some really fun things today, and last week we did some great things. So we'll review a little bit some of the things that we learned last week, and we'll try out some new things today, including, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you so you know what's coming up. We're gonna get to practice being superheroes today. I'm really excited about that. So, but let's start off. It's usually good at the start of a yoga practice to feel our bodies before we really get moving, because then when we're moving, we'll be more aware of moving our bodies. So what I'd like you to do, remember how we put a hand on our heart, around the chest, at our heart, and then on the belly. And what I'd like you to do today, this is sort of different. What I'd like you to do today is I'd like you to breathe as if you're breathing from your belly up to your heart. And then you're breathing, you're letting the breath go from your heart to your belly. And every time you breathe up to your heart, I want you to think of something that you really love or you're really grateful for. So we're gonna do that a few times. And I want you to let that feeling fill your heart, okay? So here we go. We're gonna breathe from our belly up to our heart, and then heart to belly as you let the breath go. Were you able to fill your heart with something joyful? What makes you really happy? Let's do that again. We're gonna breathe from belly to heart, and then heart to belly. I just saw a bird go and have a little nibble from our bird feeder. That makes me fill my heart with joy. Let's do it 2 more times. Figure out what you want to concentrate on. So it's belly to heart, and it's heart to belly. Very good. I lost count. Let's do it 1 more time. Belly to heart, and heart to belly. Awesome. All right. Well, let's do some stuff to warm up. I'm gonna take my little block out, and I'm gonna, well, I guess I can leave the flowers there. And I'm gonna stand up. And do you remember how sometimes we start in standing as if we're mountains? Let's be a mighty mountain for a second. Let's breathe. See if you can be a mighty mountain and feel your feet really growing into the earth and growing yourself tall. But notice if you can also breathe from your belly to your heart at the same time as you're a mighty mountain. Okay, here we go. We're gonna breathe belly to heart and heart to belly. Did you notice how I closed my eyes when I did that? Sometimes when we're really trying to feel inside our bodies, it can be helpful to go within by closing your eyes. You can decide if you want to take a moment to close your eyes if you breathe, or if you want to keep them open, that's okay too. But either way, just feel how it feels different. Maybe try it out one way and try it out the other, and just notice what's different, okay? So I'm going to try and breathe belly to heart now, but I'm going to keep my eyes open. It felt different for me. I wonder what it was like for you. All right, so let's do some warm up. And let's start off the way we did one of the early weeks where we were making moonflowers first. We're gonna do 5. Do you remember how to do that? We're gonna take our arms out long like a 5-pointed star. We're gonna sink our hips back behind our shoulders. We're gonna bring our elbows in towards our ribs. And then we're gonna press through the legs to come back up. So that's a moonflower. Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Reach, reach, reach. Be the biggest 5-pointed star you can be. And then let's bring our hands together. Let's do 5 volcanoes, and I know you remember what those are. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Take a pause and just take a breath. See if with your legs apart, you can breathe belly to heart and heart to belly. Ready? Awesome. Okay, so I want to show you another thing we can make with our bodies. And what we're going to make are sunflowers. You know sunflowers? You know how they're super tall, and then they've got really nice they're big flowers, right? Big, probably bigger than the size of my head, some of them, I think. And you know how the outside has yellow and the inside has the black sunflower seeds? But they're so tall and strong and beautiful. So we're gonna be sunflowers, but we're gonna allow ourselves to fold a little bit, but then come right back up. All right, so here's how it goes. We're gonna take our arms up, and then we're gonna bend our knees, and we're gonna lean forward as if we're making a huge round sunflower, and then we're gonna grow back up. All right, that's a sunflower. Let's do 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Awesome. Okay. So, all right. So what I want to do now, do you remember what Warrior 2 looked like? Let's just review what we learned last week. Do you remember how we bring our feet pointing forward, and then we're gonna let one leg turn, and then that foot that turned is gonna point to the side, but we're gonna take our arms out. And here we're in Warrior 2. Let's take a beautiful heart to belly breath here. Good. And then watch this. If we let our back arm drop and then turn your whole arm so your palm faces up, you can reach up to the sky and you can sort of lean over. What would it feel like if you breathed into the side that is opening up, let's say? What if you breathed into that side of your body? Nice and strong. This in yoga classes sometimes we call this reverse warrior. All right. So then we're gonna let the arm come down. We're gonna do the other side. So let's see if you can keep up with me here. Our feet are pointing forward, but then we're gonna rotate that one leg and we're gonna bend our knee. And I actually turned my back leg in a little bit, but my knee is bent in front, and I'm gonna take both of my arms up, and I'm gonna take a belly to heart breath. And then I'm gonna drop that back arm, and I'm gonna flip my whole arm so my palm faces up, and then I'm gonna take my arm up to the sky, and I'm even gonna let myself lean down towards my fingers. My fingers are kind of going down that leg that's straight and back. And then I'm gonna breathe into this side of my body. Awesome. And I'm gonna take my arm back down. So that was Warrior 2 and Reverse Warrior, okay? But another thing we learned last week was we learned how to do bee airplanes. And in this case, we were hinging right here. I mean, we were bending forward at our hips, and we were reaching behind us, and we were kind of walking around like an airplane and remembering places we might like to go visit. So here we go. Last time I wanted to go to Hawaii. Where do I want to go today? Oh, I want to go to Australia. Oh yeah, I want to see Australia, I think. Okay, so I'm going to come back up to standing. So that was airplane. But I want to teach you something that's kind of like airplane, but a little different. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to bend at the waist again. So I'm just flat here. See how I come up here and I bend the waist, and then I'm long out this way. Instead of reaching my fingertips way behind me, I can put my hands on my thighs, or if I bend a little bit more, they're down closer towards my lower legs. But if I wanted to, this, my friends, this pose is called monkey. And so if I wanted to, I could pretend I'm a monkey. I guess monkey is my eek, 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 eek. I could pretend I'm a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. Can you be a monkey? Eek, 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 eek. I don't know if I precisely make the sound of a monkey, but it's fun to make that sound. So then I can come back up. So that is monkey. And we're gonna put some of these poses all together pretty soon today. It's gonna be a really fun surprise for you. But all right, so now what I wanna do is, I think you're gonna like this one too. Let's come down to the ground, okay? And so we're gonna come onto all fours. And you remember when we do our cat and cow, we round the spine like a cat, and then we move the other direction and we lift the head. Let's do like 3 cat-cows so we can make the sounds, okay? So I'm gonna meow, moo, meow, moo. Are you making the sounds with me? Meow, moo. And then what comes next? What do we want to do next? Let's be the downward facing dog. So let's lift our knees and take our hips back and up to the sky and come into downward facing dog. And I'm kind of coming off the camera here, but I'm bending my knees a little bit. Let me see if I can come a little forward so that now I'm not sliding so much. Okay, so that's downward facing dog. And then last time we also were able to be snakes. So if I come down on my belly and the top of my feet connect to the ground and my hands are underneath my shoulders, and I can sort of press my hips into the ground, and I can like a snake. All right, let's do that snake one more time. Okay, so now let's be superheroes. What I want you to do is that your body's, your tummy and your hips are gonna be on the ground, but you're gonna reach forward with your arms and maybe lift up your legs a little bit. See how I'm lifting up my legs and I'm reaching forward with my arms. And then I'm gonna be a superhero. You get to decide what superhero you wanna be today, okay? So we're gonna be superheroes. We're gonna be flying. I'm flying like a superhero. And you know who I am? I like being Buzz Lightyear. So I'm like, to infinity and beyond. That's where I'm going, to infinity and beyond. Which superhero are you? I think it's so fun to hear what all the superheroes are out there. And I've heard there have been superheroes that kids have told me that they are, and I hadn't even heard of those superheroes. So it's really pretty cool. So that is being a superhero. But the next thing I'm gonna do is a fun too. Would you like to wiggle as a fish? So here's how it's actually pretty tough. I think it's tough. And I need to make an adjustment because it's wet out here, it rained. I'm gonna try and wiggle this way. The thing is, you have to be on the ground, but you cannot use your hands. You can only wiggle your body from side to side using your belly muscles to try to come forward. So let's see how this works on my towels. Okay, here I go. Do you see me moving closer to the camera? And I'm not using my hands and I'm not using my feet. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. So that, my friends, is wiggling like a fish. I'm gonna see if I can go backwards, and I'm gonna see if I can make a face like a fish. Like that, okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. I can go back, and I can come forward. Oh my gosh, woo! All right, were you able to wiggle like a fish? That's pretty fun. It actually takes a lot of work in the belly, and like you're moving a lot through here. It's really good practice, so I hope you have fun with that. But what I want to do now, I'm going to check where we are, make sure our practice doesn't get too long. So what I want to do now is I want to pit some of the practices we've been doing together. And here's what it's going to look like. I'll do it both ways. So I'm going to face you, and I'm going to stand in mountain, okay? But then I'm going to take a breath in, I'm going to let it out, and let's sweep our arms up to the sky, all right? And then let's fold down, sweeping the arms down, and let's be a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. All right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna step one foot back, and when you do that, that's called a lunge. And then I'm gonna put my knee down and bring the other foot back. And then I'm gonna lower myself down to the ground and I'm gonna be a snake. And then I'm gonna push myself back up and I'm gonna let my leg come forward again, and then I'm gonna bring my other foot forward and I'm gonna come halfway up and be a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. And then I'm gonna sweep my arms up to the sky, and then I'm gonna bring them right to my heart. Let's do it again, okay? I'm gonna face this way so it looks different from how you're seeing it, but let's see if you can do it with me, okay? So let's sweep the arm up to the sky, and then let's fold down halfway like the monkey. We'll come here, we can be monkeys. Eek, 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 eek. And then we'll let ourselves come down. We're gonna take one of the legs back, all right? And then we're gonna drop that knee and let's bring the other leg back, and let's come up into snake. And then I'm gonna push myself up, and this time I'm gonna put myself into downward facing dog. All right, I'm putting myself into downward facing dog, and I'm gonna step that back leg forward, and then I'm gonna bring the other leg forward, and I'm gonna come up halfway, and I'm gonna be a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. And then I'm gonna fold again, and then I'm gonna press myself up and bring my hands down to my heart. So I want to do it one more time, but I'm going to add the dog sounds because I forgot to make the sounds. And that's really fun. So here we go. One more time. We're going to make sure we have our down dog in it. So let's bring the arms up to the sky. And then let's fold down and become monkeys. Eek, 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 eek. And then let's take our arms down, and we're gonna step one of our legs back into what we're gonna call a lunge. We're gonna put our knee down and bring the other leg down, and we're gonna lower to the ground, and we're gonna be a snake. All right, here we go. We're gonna press up. We're gonna come into downward facing dog. Woo, 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 woo. And then I'm gonna step that foot forward again and bring the other foot forward. I'm gonna come halfway up, and I'm gonna walk back so you can see me. I'm gonna be a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. And then I'm gonna allow myself to fold once more and sweep my arms up to the sky as I press to my feet. And then I'm gonna bring my hands right to my heart. So, we just did something called sun salutations, and sun salutations can be different sometimes. Like we did one version without downward dog, and then we did a couple with downward dog. You don't always have to do a downward dog. You can do cat and cow in between if you want. There's all kinds of things you can do, but it's a fun thing, and it wakes you up in the morning, so you can learn how to practice and do sun salutations. Many of the times, if your moms and dads are taking yoga, they might be doing sun salutations in a yoga class. But if you were going to be an owl, can you imagine what you would do if you were going to be an owl? Let's come down to the ground and let's be owls. This is what we're going to do as an owl. So I'm sitting on the ground, my legs are crossed, and then I'm going to turn to one direction. I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to turn as far as I can go while I'm still breathing, and I'm going to make an owl sound. Ooh, ooh. And I'm going to come back to center. Let's go the other side. So we're gonna turn, ooh, ooh, and come back around. Are you ready? Let's do it one more time. We're gonna turn, ooh, and come around and turn. Woo, woo. And come back around. Oh my gosh, we've done a lot today. We did sunflowers. Do you remember what those are like? Those are where you stand up and you spread your legs and you make a huge sunflower. All right, and then we learned how to be a monkey. Eek, 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 eek. Right? We did that. And then we went through a whole sun salutation, and the sun salutation, it included downward dog, it included snake, we did some lunges, but we also, besides the sun salutation, we were superheroes. So that meant reaching our arms out and lifting our leg, and I said, to infinity and beyond, right? That was really fun. And then we came back up and we were owls. So we can turn one way, woo, woo. And then we can turn the other way. Woo, woo. That was a great yoga practice we got to do together. So now let's calm down. We always want to include in our yoga practice an opportunity to try to be still and just be like feel things with our senses. Like I'm gonna lie down on my back and I'm gonna listen with my ears and I'm gonna look with my eyes for just a moment, and then I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm just gonna breathe and feel my breath. So why don't you do this with me, okay? So here we come down to the ground. I think, yep, you can still see me. All right. All right, so I can hear birds and somebody's mowing their lawn. And I can hear some cars driving. And I can see the beautiful sky and the leaves coming out on the trees. But now I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm just gonna feel my breath. And I'm gonna breathe belly to heart, heart to belly again. I'm gonna take 3 breaths like that. One more breath. And do you know what, as I was doing that, I was thinking about what I'm so grateful for, and I was letting my heart fill with that joy and thankfulness. All right, I love doing this also. I'm gonna see if I can take a breath and imagine that my whole body is breathing. Let's see if you can do it too. That's my favorite way of breathing. Okay. So I'm going to bring my legs up and I'm going to push myself back up. Oh, and we also did fish wiggling. Do you remember that? Maybe we'll do that again one of these weeks. Well, everybody, thank you so much for practicing yoga with me, and I hope you have a great week, and I hope you go and count the colors that you see this next week. I bet you we're going to see a lot more and more of the trees. I told you it would happen all at once, and it's happening all at once. All the trees are coming to life. So I hope you have a great week, and just take care of yourselves, be kind to your family, and know that every time you stop and notice, you're practicing yoga. Let me tell you namaste, which means the light in me honors the light in you. The light and goodness in me honors the light and goodness in you. Namaste. Bye, everybody.